we've invited the experts in the studio. We're joined by Veli Ndaba, who is described as the NeuroEngineer. Love this title, NeuroEngineer. And by the way, he's got a book out where he looks at the neuroscience of effective leadership, transforming leaders from leadership darkness to leadership light. Veli, thank you so much for joining us in the studio this evening, and welcome to Metro FM Talk.
Thank you very much, Faith, for having me. It's such a pleasure.
And maybe let's talk a little bit about this, because, you know, I love the way you described as the NeuroEngineer. And you were saying to me, because I was wondering, because you've got a qualification in engineering,
Yes.
and you've also got a BSc, but you wanted to understand the psychology and the neurological pathways. Just talk a little bit about that. Why go into neuroengineering?
Exactly that. And working with people, my passion is about understanding what happens in the brain and body when we experience certain emotional states. So there's been a lot of talking around why people are why people are behaving the way they do. But I've always been very fascinated by science behind it. Because it's easy just to talk about things and say, when people behave like this, it's because of this. And some of the things, when you talk about neuroscience, for me, it was about bringing in the hard science to what is called soft skills. You know, anything that is called science, it means it's evidence-based. It's data-driven. It's not just someone that can say, I feel this is how it works. It's not about feeling. It's about
Evidence.
It's about data. So what I love about neuroscience is that it heavily relies on things like fMRI scans, like your functional magnetic resonance imaging, your EEG scans, electroencephalography, your PPE scans. So it's not a guesswork. You can tell exactly, even using this, there's a technology as well that is used called BOLD. If you think of BOLD, B-O-L-D, which stands for Blood Oxygenation Level Dependent Technology.
Blood Oxygenation Level Dependent Technology.
So which means that under the scan, you can be able to see which brain region is active when someone is engaged in a certain activity. So this is not like a guesswork. So over time, this is something that has accumulated in terms of data. So now human nature is better understood than it used to be understood before. So that's why you'll hear people saying you can't teach an old dog new tricks. And science has proven that that is false, because the human brain can keep on developing in terms of structure and in terms of function until you die. So this is something that is called neuroplasticity. It means the brain is malleable. It's plastic, depending on how you use it. If you expose it to a different experience or a different environment, it's going to adapt. That's how we are. So you can't just say, this is who I am. Because if you change, you have the ability to do so. So now, bringing in neuroscience into that, into human behavior or human nature, it helps us understand why we do what we do.